Like, that's what it was discussing about the expansion.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 1:30. First, thing on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes from September 9th, 2025 Economic Development Committee. I believe they've been circulated, and if there's no changes, we'll adopt them as presented.
I can move to adopt the minutes as presented.
Okay, minutes are adopted as presented. It looks like we got to adopt minutes from the June.
You need to vote, sorry,
What's that, sorry?
We do have to vote?
yes.
Oh, we do? I thought once we, okay.
All in favor for adopting the minutes of September 9th? Motion carries.
Okay.
Do we have to, John's reading something, I'm sorry, we missed it.
Oh, yeah, no problem, sorry. And we'll adopt the agenda as circulated.
We do have an addition,
Okay. The addition is,
small business week discussions. I just need to notice this one word, sorry.
we're gonna add that into,
Into new business. Small business week discussions.
we'll just, so we'll just add that as number 2, small business week. Discussions.
Yes.
Any opposition? Okay, all in favor? Carries. Okay, agenda's been adopted. Do we need to adopt the minutes from the June 10th meeting as well? Okay, all in favor to adopt the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 Economic Development Committee? Motion carries. Okay, moving to unfinished business, the YOLO Nomads update.
So since we last met back in June, we have actually now launched the YOLO Nomads project. So the hub page and hub guide has been attached for your perusal. And we have started pushing we've started advertising, and we'll be hitting the Ontario, BC, and major markets here in Alberta as well. So that will be our key focus. And the YOLO Nomads is pretty much just another avenue for us to get more eyes on our town and to drive persons that want to live a better quality of life into the town of Peace River. So, yeah. Oh, and we're partnering with Northern Sunrise County.
Any questions?
Good looking package.
Where did they get the?
Mine's off.
Suzanne?
Yeah. So that site's like live now. And
Yes, it's live, and the ads should start. We actually just met yesterday. That's why it's not noted here. So the ads should start as of Monday, I believe it is. So yeah, but it is definitely live.
But this is not updated, this is old information.
The ones that's in the agenda is old, but it's just some minor changes that we made to it. But so the gist of it is definitely pretty much what's out there right now.
and so then is this, sorry, I should putting my microphone on here. So is this like advertised like on Facebook or certain websites in certain areas, then people click in for more information? Is that the idea?
So they will be doing Facebook advertisements and also various plugs in different, so we'll get a report, I'll be able to share with you, but definitely going to be on social media and also plugs in various areas. So once we get that final report, then you will be able to see where the reach is, where those numbers are coming from, and get a better idea. Yeah, I can't see as yet until we're launched as to where it's gonna be.
That's super cool. I think that's a huge opportunity for attracting more people to the area.
Okay, sorry.
Knew you were coming.
Yeah. The whole locking keys and.
Is there any other discussion on the YOLO No Bets project? Okay, moving on to item number 2, retail and services gap analysis, project update.
So we have started that retail and services gap analysis study, which is being undertaken with the support of our Northern Regional Economic Development matching grant. And the project was awarded to FBM Architect, and it's just to give you an update on how many proposals we got and the price range, it was between 29,000 to 78,000. We do have a budget of $105,000, which is to do both the destination development assessment and the retail services analysis. And we're currently committed to 883 600 of the total amount available, and half of that would be, of course, funded through the NRED program as mentioned. We have completed the DDA portion of the project, and with the gap analysis currently on the way, we will remain within budget, so that's good to note. The project is slated to be completed on the end of February of next year. We have been getting good numbers with the surveys, but I would definitely encourage the committee to, bring it to your different areas and businesses so that we can get the numbers that really represent the town's voice. So when the report is presented, it is definitely speaking to what is needed by the community at large. So the link is also there for that. I'll also be at the farmers market tomorrow to do some pushing and get some numbers up as well. So hopefully with the committee help and the push at the farmers market and the advertising that we're currently doing online as well, which has gotten over 16,000 views. So it's all there. We just need the numbers now to get the surveys completed.
Any questions?
You were saying that the economic, or the destination development assessment is part of that with this next item list or no?
The destination development assessment, so this was, because we actually haven't discussed this since our previous meeting, so this is the highlights from that. So if there's no questions on the retail, I can just jump straight into, unless you have to call it that.
Anybody for discussion or we're moving on?
Okay, so for the destination development assessment, that was, I think, it was very engaging since we've had that discussion and so many ideas have been coming out of that. So we're looking forward to putting into action some of the recommendations from that assessment. The final report should be online within the next couple of hours. So by the end of the day, the final report, the written report, because the video has been out for some time now, but the final written report should be online before the weekend here. And just wanted to highlight some of the key stuff that Roger Brooks from the destination team brought to our attention. And the key strengths that was identified is our natural beauty, the recreational assets, the fact that we have this super mile long Peace River, the Mr. Mountains, our local parks, which for a community of our size, we do have a good amount of parks, so that was mentioned. The quality of life amenities and that strong regional role as that provisioning, we should be known as like the base camp for the Peace region because we do have the services to support the region right now. Some of the major suggestions was tourism and marketing. So to develop some standalone marketing website that would basically embrace the branding of being the base camp to the Mighty Peace experience, sorry about this, and also a suggestion of a tourism business improvement, district, fee, and also for a designated nonprofit to actually do the overseeing of that program that should be strictly based on tourism for the town of East River. Wayfinding and signage was another suggestion or recommendation made, which we were happy to note that this is something that the town has actually started already. With the help of another NRED grant as well. So that project is currently on the way, but it was noted that there is definitely room for improvement with our wayfinding and signage. The third one was the downtown revitalization. So the suggestion was for some planters, benches, having the blade signs instead, because right now our downtown, if you're walking down the street, you cannot know what's in a building unless you stand directly in front of it, turn and face it. So having those blade signs, it definitely is a game changer when you have your foot traffic. Having some more trees in our downtown just to help with that beautification portion of it, and promoting evening activities, extending the business hours, stuff like there are other suggestions in there, so I won't get into everything, but the idea is that we should be increasing our foot traffic in our downtown region. The fourth one was visitor experience enhancement, which is to improve visibility and promotion of hidden gems, such as our park, or sorry, Cecil Thomas Park, which is in the county. But one thing he did mention is when a person comes to a region, they don't know when the town lines end and the county line begins. So it's just speaking to the different amenities that we have in the area. So within that, I believe it was 45-minute drive, radius was referenced there, or a 12-foot Davis statue. It can be a point of interest where persons can come take pictures, stuff like that, but we want to be selling those amenities and hidden gems. There was also a suggestion of creating a Peace River RV guide. So a lot of person that comes into the region, they need to stop, they need to do servicing, they need to do stuff. So if we have like an RV guide specific for the region and having Peace River, the town of Peace River as that stop and hub, that was another suggestion as well. And then the final major one was our business and community engagement. So the suggestion to establish a destination Peace River team that would lead the implementation of the tourism recommendations as outlined in the report, and also a creation of the business improvement area to support the downtown revitalization projects. So all in all, it's a very, I would say, a good read. The report does have a lot of pictures, so don't be daunted by the 90 pages. There are lots of pictures and there are bullet points, the suggestions that's made. So it makes it an easy read, and I believe that is something I'm sure we're looking forward to putting in place some of the suggestions. Any questions?
And you say, so that should be out in a couple of hours, the report?
Yeah, the report should be out before the end of the day for sure online. Thanks.
Don't everybody jump in.
So, one quick question. If, when we're looking at trying to implement some of these and talk to the other businesses, if places are looking to say encourage blade signs, do you need development permits for that, building permits? And if so, what's the cost? Because I know businesses might be game, but then when they're looking at extra costs for permits, that might be a bit of a turn off as well.
While I can speak to the costs for the development permits, it is available online, but I just personally don't know the exact amount. But depending on, I'm pretty sure you will need development permits for those new signs for sure. Your other question was the cost and the.
Or is it, no building permit, building and development permit? I think are the two, so maybe just a development permit?
I believe it would just be a development permit for signs.
I think the building permit too.
Yeah, it's possible because of the weight of the sign and the risk, but we will follow up with our development team. And then we'll bring that back, and if that is gonna be a burden, then perhaps we need to look at a program to offset those costs, because that's something that we want to encourage downtown. So that's an excellent question that you posed, thank you.
Cause I know what after the report, I mean, we're all about downtown revitalization, making the changes, the pictures were good, but that's where a lot of businesses were like, well, we're not wanting to put out certain things just because of, you know, circumstances. Like I didn't put out a planter this year because a couple of them got started on fire, say the year before, you know, so just other things that we have to take care of while encouraging people to implement these or spending the extra money towards them.
Would this be covered under the tourism grant that we have available? Because I know signage is part of that. And then same thing with the other like downtown or business revitalization grant, they could essentially apply for this under one of those grants, I would imagine.
Definitely the signs, for sure. For the planters and stuff, that would fall under beautification or aesthetic, so it is listed as one of the eligible costs. Yeah, so it would fall under the business revitalization, not the tourism enhancement portion of it.
I guess where I was going was that there is a mechanism that if a business owner wanted to participate in this, we potentially have a grant system in place for it already.
Thanks. What I am going to suggest is once the new council gets on board and we're going into budget, if this is a direction that council wants to support, I'm gonna suggest that we maybe try to, you know, secure a pricing for blade signs, because you typically want them looking somewhat similar. And then maybe set aside special grant funding for this program only. Rather than take those funds out of the other aesthetic grant funding. I think we will try to approach it that way and see if council would set aside whatever it is, that maybe we could do 5 signs a year or 10, whatever the cost turns out to be. And so we're not taking away from those other much needed, I see Councillor Shannon has agreed. So we're not taking the funds away from those needed programs. And then we could say maybe blade signs for the next 2 years, and then we target something else to try to build them along.
Or even positive, like, I don't know, again, the cost of the permits, but if it might even be an encouragement, well, what if we waive
Yes,
the cost of the permit, you still fill it out, we'll waive that.
yes.
You purchase your sign, then that's kind of a nice gesture from the town as well, giving a little to revitalize.
Kind of package it together is what I would see, yes.
Will this be sort of a formal plan going forward then? Because I mean, like, it's one thing for us who have seen the presentation, but I know not all of Peace River has or whatever. So is this something that us as an economic development committee will be sort of approaching in our kind of initiatives? Or is it something that the town of Peace River in general is going to have sort of a go forward plan with some of these action items?
I would suggest that, once again, we're ready to transition of a new council. So when the new council gets on and we onboard them and orientate them to all the great things that are happening right now, Roger Brooks and their presentation is gonna be front and center, because we wanna start getting money into the budget and actioning stuff for next year. If council is on board with this direction, typically you would create a policy that says signage in this blocks or areas must be of this nature. So anything new would be required to follow that guideline, and then we would work to, you know, bring those existing into that form. So if it becomes council policy, and then we would be looking for all of us and champions to, you know, build that momentum.
Okay, if there's no more discussion on the destination development assessment, we can move on to the draft economic development work plan.
So this one is actually a request for recommendation from the committee, so, sorry. So we have our draft work plan for 2026, which feeds off our current council's track plan. But with the new council coming in place, it may change, but that does not stop us from having a plan in place to work with, and then we can always update as the new strategic plan coming for the next 4 years. So the request is for the committee to make some recommendations to what is being presented by administration here.
The one thing that I see missing on here that I would like to get added, and I don't know where it would fall, but I know just with almost every major development that has been proposed to Peace River, the airport has been one of the things that's identified we need for economic growth. And again, I know it's not an easy task, but if we don't at least have it on the board, then it's never gonna get discussed.
100%.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Maybe that'll go under building relationships.
Sure.
I just mean like everything from the Neolithica to the nuclear to like
Conferences.
conferences, just, bringing in like professionals into the community to have a routine so that, not every professional unfortunately wants to live in Peace River, but they'd be willing to commute, a couple days a week. I feel like this airport is the linchpin on so many different things, and if we don't at least address the elephant in the room, then there'll be never a solution proposed.
After that, I probably leave. Oh, somebody has her.
No, it's nothing real to do.
I might leave that decision for the new council to put on because that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah, but I just think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If administration is gonna be presenting to new council, if administration is gonna be presenting to the new council here next month. This draft, then I would just like the airport to be on it as a point of discussion, whether the council goes forward with it or not, I mean, we'll see.
And the fact that our committee is talking about it and it comes up every time during our committee meetings, that if you're asking for a reference point from us, that is one of them, right?
Any other recommendations?
Would it be foster attractive retirement opportunities? Are we looking at housing for retirement opportunities? What is that? The very top?
Yeah, that's actually under the current council strategic direction. So the goal and strategies listed there is actually taken directly from the current council strategic plan.
So, I can add to that, Chair. So you're probably aware who is it? Rural Development Network is doing the Enabling Housing Choices study. We're anticipating the results of that study to come out sometime the end of November. The goal is there should be some tangible recommendations in there for administration to act upon to try to stimulate, encourage, and action some house or home building development, residential development. So we're all eager. Those of us who have been working on that project are thinking about things. And again, that will be it's kind of perfect timing. Some of these studies are just coming in at the perfect time to introduce to the new council, then to get action and move some of this stuff forward. So again, it's going to be a big budget discussion. I have some ideas. We've talked about a few things. It's going to take some money. And we hope to present to the new council and that with a study and see, because we absolutely know we desperately need some housing. Yeah.
For sure.
You know, you gotta add one thing.
Got a lot of great ideas, then you have to send me some books next time.
November.
So, Mr. Chair, I'm gonna say, because I just know we don't, this group doesn't meet again to November. And we are certainly not putting this as one of the first things in front of the new council. So, we're building our budgets on what we think we're gonna be working to achieve. So we can absolutely just take it away, and we'll put this as an agenda item on the next agenda as well, so that gives you time to contemplate, think, ask some questions, whatever. And then we can, finalize the recommendations then.
Perfect, let's just table that till the next meeting then, and we'll move on to the update on tax incentive bylaws.
That's good. I think, the information in the package might feel a little bit old. Because we have actually brought forward this bylaw to council. So on September 8th, we brought forward bylaw 2182, titled Industrial and Commercial Tax Incentive Bylaw. For first reading, council at that time did give all 3 readings, and it is now active and available to any developer. So the intention was to create interest and stir some industrial and commercial development, which aligns with the town strategic plan. As we know, tax incentives can be designed to attract new investment. Implementing this non-residential tax incentive bylaw, we hope to leverage a proven tool to enhance its competitiveness in attracting business investment and supporting long-term economic growth. So this non-tax incentive program is aimed to reduce financial burden on businesses and making Peace River more attractive for new developments and expansions. The program may ultimately help grow the local tax base, potentially create employment opportunities and stimulate other economic activity. So for Peace River, this bylaw serves as a tool for revitalizing underutilized commercial zones, encouraging expansion, and attract new investors that will contribute to the town's economic resilience and vibrancy. Without this tax incentive program, we're always at risk of being overlooked by investors seeking cost-effective locations with supportive municipal policies. So I'm really happy, as I'm sure we are all at this table, that council moved forward with this request for a decision. So just on highlight, the tax incentive program, again, is for new builds and for redevelopment or improvement. To qualify for the non-tax incentive program, the development must be new construction, major renovation, or expansion project with industrial or commercial use classes, must result in a minimum assessed value increase of 150,000 and must cost at least 150,000. And mixed use properties are eligible for the commercial industrial portion only, so builds commercial on the bottom, apartment on top, it's only the commercial portion at this point in time. We had proposed and council had adopted a tax exemption of 75% on the incremental tax increase applied over 3 years. So 75% in year 1, 50% exemption in year 2, 25% exemption in year 3. But the total exemption allowable over the 3 years is a maximum of 250,000. Okay. So as I said, council gave all 3 readings. So the advantages, it provides incentive for investment and expansion, revitalization, or new development of non-residential properties in the town. And it positions Peace River as business friendly and reinforces the town's commitment to growing investment in Peace River. There was a slight disadvantage we presented to council, and that would be that there is a slight increase in administrative burden for administration to track the agreements and to ensure that the exemptions are properly applied. However, that work will just be picked up by our existing staff. Um. Financial implications we presented to council at the time, there's potential for a missed opportunity with tax revenues that end up exempted under this program. However, over the lifetime of a business or property, the upsides will typically outweigh the lost revenue. And I think that's all I have to say about it. We did retro it. We recommended to council and council accepted the recommendation that, I don't see it right in here. I believe it is for any properties where they had an approved development as of January 1, 2025. So anything existing and happening can apply for the exception. Yeah.
Just one question on that last part, was communicated to anybody that applied as of January first?
Well, I know a couple for sure, I saw in the meeting. And,
We're all looking your way.
and I specifically asked about. Too, I think, because that's multiple developments, that property up there is being subdivided. Okay. So we talked about that project and specifically because it was important for us to not think, oh, we waited till after that was approved, right? So we absolutely took in consideration and made sure we captured that development, and I think that parcel's being subdivided, so I think there'll be multiple opportunities with the different property owners.
Perfect. Any questions or discussions on the tax incentive bylaw? Okay, moving on. Wayfinding project update.
Sorry, that's me, I think I'm gonna speak to that. I am not deeply involved in this project. I am more on a higher level, so I am just gonna kind of walk through a briefing memo that was presented to council recently to update them on the project. So as you're aware, we received an NRED grant for implementation, design and implementation of a wayfinding program. The project budget was 400,000, we received 200,000. It's 50-50 matching. So the plan included the design, graphics, the signage, content, maps, and then following at the end, we'll be doing the installation of all the projects. So for those of you who heard Roger Burke speak, we all understand how important wayfinding signage is. We also understand when we have evacuees in town, how important wayfinding signage is. So much needed project. It is gonna cost us more than the 400,000. However, it's gonna give us a good start on it. So progress to date, we did have a site meeting in early January. We created, or they selected the contractor, Bond Creative. Then we've gone into step 2. They did a complete environmental scan of our community, took inventory of all the existing signs and highway signage. Then they've drafted some designs, like you see design examples. The team has gone through the different design examples. They're looking at size, colors, background, font colors, everything else. And I believe that the team has now settled on, are these the designs that they've settled on? Okay, I think these are, and that's why they're probably in the package. Again, though, this is a little bit, and it's not my project, I'm not overseeing this project, so. But here was, I believe these are the styles and types that they've selected. And I think they're probably soon in production. And I know the signs, they're gonna start installing next year, so they'll be, and I don't think they're doing gonna get an update for you next time. They're gonna install it in a certain phase too, like certain signs are more important than others. Like, say all our facilities right now already have all signs, right? But eventually we want all like signs, but we don't need to necessarily re-sign the pool at the moment. We need directional signs first. So I know Tanya and her team have a plan and the order of installation of signs too this week. Spend the money we have on the most important at the moment.
That makes sense. So I don't know if there's much discussion on signage, but we can potentially move on. So they do look great.
They look really good in water, they look really
They're
nice.
nice, right?
Yes.
I think it'll make a huge difference around, like a huge difference, so I'm so in support of this project, it's a long time coming, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate it's taken us this long really, but it's perfect, it's great. It would be nice to have, I guess, a final timeline when you guys think it'll be done, but if you think next year, that's awesome.
Listen, I know,
Phases.
yeah, it's gonna be phased, cause the money, like, it's a
Yeah.
lot of signage and a lot of funding. So it's gonna be a multi-year project, but absolutely, if we can, you know, come back and say, well, we know these signs are gonna be this year and those will be next year, and, yeah.
But that'll be a big improvement.
It will, absolutely, yep.
Nice.
I'm just gonna add to that, I made it a point after we knew about the new project, every town I go to, I do a little tour.
Yeah.
Fox Creek has a very, very great wayfinding program, and, Red Deer isn't too bad either. There's two that I actually paid a little bit of attention to, cause you don't notice this unless you're doing it in your town, it's like doing a menu for a restaurant, you don't notice if it's good or not until you see one that you can compare to. But I can't wait, it's gonna be great, especially Peace River. I mean, the way they designed them, that it's gonna really fit into our aesthetic here too.
Well, I know, this is one of the things that I brought up when I first moved here, because people would tell me to go to Saddleback. Where? Or, you know, north end and south end, I figured that out all by myself. But for the rest of the area, like, I have no idea what people are even talking about, so it'll be great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, we'll move on to new business. Oh,
If you would mind, get a motion to accept all of the items listed under unfinished business
I can-
information.
I can move that.
seconder,
No, that means.
we don't need a seconder, okay, all in favor? Okay, looks like all of those topics of discussion are approved. Moving on to new business, economic development webpage launch.
Yes, so I'm excited to announce that we have launched our economic development webpage on our website, our town website. And so the request is actually for recommendations. Currently it is populated with federal, provincial grants and or municipal grants, just to have it on that one page. But the idea is to have the information presented in one spot, like a resource page for businesses. So conversations I'm having now, even when we did our business walks back in the summer, was just educating businesses on the different grants that's available. Because one thing that we are recognizing is persons just don't know. It's not that they don't want to utilize it, they just don't know that it exists. And a few of them do have tight timelines, which we all business owners, it might be difficult to get in to the specific ones based on the tighter timelines, but there are grants that's out there that's for a year, for instance. So the funds are earmarked, they're allocated. Let's not have it into the coffers that it's not being utilized in the way it's supposed to. So as it is now, as I said, it is published and launched. And I have been personally going everywhere I am. I'm like, hey, go take a look. So it's for the committee members as well to be a little bit more involved with that process as well, educating other businesses, and also to make recommendations as to how you see the page going and what you'd like to be included as well, like recommendations for that. So,
So I feel like this one is more homework.
Last night, but yes.
Okay, I think we should just table that one until the next meeting when we have some, had, all of us had time to look at the webpage and make recommendations. So moving on to the added piece to the agenda, small business week discussion.
So, next week is Small Business Week, as we know in Canada here. And, we may not be able to do a big, splash for local businesses, but we do want to have a way of recognizing, our local businesses here in town. A suggestion from, the committee was to do, visits with, or just having some talks, I should say, as to, yeah, but it's, I love the word that, one sec. Yeah, we're gonna do a video mashup. So each day, or communication coordinator, Stuart is on board, for the one member from the committee going out, doing a video, just talking about, small businesses, or like, we can discuss what that content looks like, but, I'd like, if you guys are interested, if we could do that, one day each week. So there's 5 days in the week and we have 5 members here. But we do have one member that's, not here right now, but, late. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, so maybe one person is not available, but we are definitely not.
Not counting me, I guess, then.
And not counting.
I know, but the election, I'm not sure.
That's what I'm like, I didn't not count.
Yeah, I know, but maybe we should leave me out.
No problem, so then we have 5 members, so if we could do one a day, we can. Have the discussion now and then we can, do the scheduling and stuff like that. So I just need to know if you guys are on board first of all, and then we can do a schedule. And then you select your time slot and date that you're available.
Only if you come with us.
Oh, of course I have to. I won't be on camera, I'll just be directing, I'm your producer and director.
And sorry, I said like one person goes out, like, is it 5 businesses that you pick to go to, or sorry?
So we're not gonna do, individual businesses, we'll just have like videos off, so you'll pick a neutral spot to do the actual video, but then the video mashup will have features of various businesses in it. So the content of it, we can discuss, we'll have that discussion and we can then decide the content that we wanna put out there. So you'll have the weekend to kind of brainstorm and, come up with some talking points. And I'll have some questions and stuff like that, then you can just answer, you can give your thoughts.
Yeah. So just gonna add to that, so for example, one day might talk about the business grants, about opportunities that we have, again, refresh them. And the mashup might be clips of all the different projects that we've sponsored right now, for example. Another one might be with the other grant opportunities, or just general about the new website and all the information that's available. These are just off the top of my head, quick ideas.
Yeah, I'm in, so just
So
reach out.
No, okay, I see nods, perfect.
Yeah, we can make that work.
I
Sure,
mean-
makes everything good.
And then we might have to look at scheduling anyway those next week, so
Okay.
we'll chat and see if we can find some time to get it.
Do you have hair and makeup on your today?
Yes, that's the question. Yours would
We have
be-
filters.
We will just voice whatever Stuart is taking videos of.
I'm just thinking, so good.
Make anything look good.
I know, he's amazing, he just.
I'm just thinking, Benji, you would be a great one to speak about the tax incentive. Because you have personal experience how frustrating it was to pay that tax bill after investing all that money.
Yes, it would be.
Yes, I'll be down for that one, 100%.
You click your heels in the air.
I got a business that just opened. That I was gonna do.
No.
I haven't really thought about it, but
We're not gonna focus on individual businesses.
you're doing more like, themes or whatever.
It's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah,
all
okay, I
matched
get
up
it.
like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at
I
this,
see.
Look at this, look at this, because we have so many we've had so many new businesses. We need to bring that back, actually, if you wouldn't mind, for the next agenda, the total number of new business licenses that we have issued this year. But we have too many that we can't just highlight one, so we're gonna do a mashup of things.
Just to note though, I looked over those new businesses and not all of them are new businesses. Some of them are businesses that have been bought or transferred and stuff like that. 60, but.
So any other discussion on Small Business Week or things we'd like to see?
More businesses to celebrate next year, Benji.
Well, it's hard because like, unless you said it was Small Business Week, I honestly wouldn't have known myself either, right? We all get in our four walls and our operating businesses, so sometimes these things just fly by for
Just
sure.
another day.
Yeah,
That's right.
like my birthday, sure.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so I think then we would need a motion to adopt these as well.
Except for information.
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Second, we don't need a second, right? All in favor? Okay, motion carries. Moving on to reports, so ongoing project updates. I think that's lame, so we'll just say they're all lame.
I don't know.
Or do we wanna just move on to downtown revitalization?
Kind of
Yeah.
about all of these.
I think we really did.
Yeah, I don't think.
If I can just ask a question, just because as part of, it's not downtown revitalization, but just people have been asking. People have been asking for updates, being that the shelter's opening November 1st. Has anyone met with anyone if they're gonna try to be running under perhaps stricter rules, because the business community is understandably concerned about the shelter opening up again, because it has been an immediate difference since the doors have closed. So questions about that?
I actually haven't received formal notification that they are opening, so if you've received formal notification. Or is it Thursday? But assuming that they're opening, there has been some discussions. I don't know what you want me to say. You know, the shelter is licensed, the shelter has a development permit. And there are only a couple of conditions on that development permit that we can exercise, now that we've, done research back. We will be paying far more attention to any condition that we can exercise. I'm gonna say the shelter is very, very aware of the community's concerns. And this year, we have a protective services team. We never had a protective services team last winter. And so our director has had conversations with them, and protective services is fully aware of the challenges the community faced last year. And this year I said we do have a team that are addressing those concerns. And yeah.
Do they have to give you formal notice? Like, do they have to give the town a piece of?
No, they don't have to give us formal notice, but I have not actually received that to say, hey, we're opening up. Yeah, but no, they don't have to give us formal notice.
I was gonna say, I don't remember specific names, but it sounds like there was the funding, say November 1st for the overnight shelter was coming back into place, maybe November to May. Might it even be possible to, if on the town page, some of the business people too, like some have met the peace officers, some haven't. I don't know if whether it be on the town page or an email, businesses could have here's the steps, here's when you should call us. Here's a number, is it 24/7, is it which? just so businesses know the avenues to call. Do we call them? Do we call the RCMP if there's issues? Or again, that could be-
Like a cheat sheet.
Yes, a cheat sheet, yes, thank you. Yeah, who to call when is, like I said, are the peace officers, are they 7 days a week, 24/7? Who do we call with the issues and such?
So I would say two things are evolving continuously in our department because, you know, it really just started in January. And so every day we're adding continuous improvements to that. So for example, soon we will have 24-hour dispatch that we are contracting with another police force actually. So we will have somebody in the not too distant future. Will there be 24-hour service? No. But that dispatch will be able to triage, and if it's something that should have gone to a 911 to begin with, it's not gonna go into a voicemail and sit there, right? So I said every day they seek to improve the program, add things to enhance it and improve. So that is gonna make a big difference over the winter as well, and we're working towards 7-day coverage. But not 24, but we're waiting for the policing study. And once the policing study comes out, it's gonna give direction for council and administration on what's the next best steps to address those. I do know we should have an encampment strategy on the website that says if it's on your property, do this, if it's on town property, do that. Cause we did walk through a flow chart on that and testing it's online. But I'll double check. And maybe in the near future too, we can start doing those, have coffee with the CPO. You know, set them up at the Baytex, right? When the hockey season is happening, they can sit there for an hour and have coffee with people, right? Again, we're just evolving and developing and they're just trying to get everything in order, but those are the kinds of things, so then people can just comfortably talk to them and have conversations, yeah. And we will definitely, when we get that 24-hour lineup, we will be making a big to do, but I haven't signed the agreements or anything yet, we're just working through the logistics of it.
That's a good step.
I talked to a young business owner this morning and she's concerned about it opening it up again because she just opened and she is on Main Street where they seem to be hit a lot. So I'm quite concerned about it too, and we need to be zero tolerance this season because we cannot let it ever get back to how it was, ever.
Well, also, when you did the big roundup and was the number something, was it 2.3 million, was that damages, theft, et cetera, in 18 months in the downtown core?
No, it's all over.
Okay, all over.
Downtown, some of it was on the perimeter of the West Hill.
But regardless, do you-
A majority of it was downtown.
yeah, but you consider that's taken out of our town in a year and a half, and then how it was such a change, like I think May 8th it closed, you could notice the immediate change. Even Elaine at Peace Valley, he's like, it's been a holiday and such, so you're right, it's like that is not fair to the businesses in the downtown to go back, so we agree with the zero tolerance where we're compassionate, but we can't take the hits anymore.
When I was sitting in a local business office and they got robbed twice while I was sitting in there and I was watching it on the screen. If when a businessman has to say it feels like a holiday, we have a real problem, there's something wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Shouldn't be the norm, no.
Okay, I think we could have a whole meeting on this topic, so we'll just.
No, that's a good answer,
We'll-
thank you, that's all we're looking for.
We'll keep it moving. I think by the looks of the list here, we'll go to business retention specialist quarterly highlight.
I was looking at the quarterly highlights and I'm like, so much things needs to be added because this is actually the second quarter. So a lot of the information here might seem outdated. So for November, let's just say it will be a longer list because so many things have happened since in the third quarter, but I'm only teasing you with the third quarter stuff. So I'll give you highlights from second quarter. As I mentioned earlier, we did award the contract for the retail and services gap analysis. The destination assessment, that was completed. We also did the business walks, back in June, which was a huge success. We have persons actually asked, like, from that walk, the community features and Geo, the representative actually want to do it again. I just didn't have the time to plan another one, so hopefully, she's actually the representative from, the province who wants to come back in next week, so she'll actually be around when you're doing your videos or stuff, but let's just say it's a success. The businesses have been, happy with that, so we'll definitely continue it. The enabling housing choice north project that Barb spoke about as well. So the work has been completed in terms of the survey, the community stakeholder interviews. The final report was expected in October, but that has been updated to November now. So we will have that ready to present at some point once we have it in hand. We also presented as a team the Town of Peace River at the Chamber of Commerce general meeting back in June, I believe it was. And we also attended their annual trade show back in May. Yeah, that time, in that quarter. And then initiated the work. So the work for the non-residential tax incentive bylaw was actually done in that second quarter, presented in the governance and priorities meeting back in September 2nd and got passed in September 8th. So those are the major highlights that I've worked on in second quarter. So yeah.
Any questions?
It'll be any surprises for that.
Okay, we'll move on to the monthly development report for June and August.
I think it speaks for itself. I think if it's what goes on the council agenda package, it pretty much speaks for itself. Unless you have any questions. I will say, just on a side note, you know, it's been brought to my attention how much busier this summer the development office has been. And I'm not so convinced it's necessarily, well, yeah, there is obviously some new development, but also I believe our message is getting out that people need to have a development permit and have building permits. So I think it's a combination of, which is really good news to know that persons are understanding that these are requirements and they're acting on those requirements. But aside from, we also obviously have some big development happening, so thank you. And for the community that's listening, thank you, because it's really important.
Any questions on the report? Okay, I'll ask for a motion to receive or file reports as presented. Okay, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on to information. Government of Alberta workforce labor market updates.
That's just for information purposes, so you can take a look if you have any questions. We do include them because it is kind of indicative of what our workforce is, or workforce or labor market workforce looks like, and the numbers I think will help businesses that's interested in knowing where to kind of formulate their plans. So yeah, it's just for information for the committee and for the public.
Any questions or comments on the labor market updates? Okay, we'll move on to NADC report to minister.
So that one is for information as well. There's a report that was submitted by the Northern Alberta Development Council. It did have a few recommendations and opportunities for the North region that we found it applicable for this committee to take a look at and see what's happening. There's some highlights as to projects that's coming up. One notable one, because as in that conversation, is the highway that's coming between Fort McMurray and Peace River. So I'm looking forward to that because I think now it's what 9 hours, I believe, or something like that to get to Fort Mac. So that's one of the things in there, but that's just for information.
Perfect. Again, anybody have any questions or comments on the report? Okay, moving right along to new business welcome letters.
So we have 25 new business letters that was issued between June and September. It is point to notice, so as was mentioned as earlier, that some of our new business licenses may not just be new businesses, but purchases of old business, but the 25 letters are attached for your peruse, for your information.
Okay, if there's no questions or comments on the letters, I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt the report.
Motion to adopt the reports.
Okay, all in favor? All right, okay, and then it looks like we're gonna go into a closed session for deliberation on the business grant program.
Yep, motion.
We want you to go in close and would you mention that we are not going to
Or,
when we come back out.
or,
We
okay.
won't be live once we come back.
Okay, perfect. So I can get a motion on the floor to go into closed session.
I can make that motion.
Okay, all in favor? Perfect. And like, CEO Miller said, after this, oh, we're just gonna not, after closed session, we're not coming back live to Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc.